The boxers have been given their instructions. The seconds are out. The crowd is ready for another edition of Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing with your presenter, the boxing historian, Greg Rashid.
And I really like that new beginning of the show. I really like that sound on there. Hope you do too. And if you're new to the program, you probably don't know what I'm even talking about. But this is Greg Rashid. I'm your presenter, the host of the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast. For many of you, at your convenience, anytime you want to listen on various sites on the internet, a lot of folks listen, though every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, on KUHSdenver.com, created by the one and only Henry Archuleta. So I hope you enjoyed today's fight. You're new to the program. What we do on here, we do fantasy fights. And if you're listening, that means you're a boxing fan. So we do fights like what would happen if Muhammad Ali fought Mike Tyson, or Tyson Fury fought Joe Louis, or Rocky Marciano would have fought Beterbiev, anyone out there. And it's just fantasy fights. We're just doing fantasy fights, and we use different modes of computer software, card and dice games. Today we're using a game called Main Event Boxing by Downey Games. And the fight today is a middleweight fight that I really wish they had, but they couldn't get it together. I'm talking about Nigel Benn out of Britain versus the one and only Sugar Ray Leonard. And we're going to get into the fight right now. And by the way, if you love the program, you want to be a Patreon, just go to patreon.com, look for Ringside Fantasy Fights and News, and join the community that's already joined there. Anything you can contribute, $1 a month, whatever you can do, just to keep things rolling. So let's get into the fight right now. Bean versus Leonard, and we got everyone's favorite commentator, Knockout Nigel, giving you his commentary on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Knockout Nigel. Cheers. This is Knockout Nigel, your humble commentator, coming to you live from the illustrious London Stadium, home of the West Ham United soccer team. Tonight, we're set for a thrilling middleweight showdown between two legends of the ring, Nigel Benn and Sugar Ray Leonard. Nigel Benn, known as the Dark Destroyer, is a British boxing icon with a fearsome reputation. Hailing from Ilford, Essex, Benn's aggressive and relentless style has earned him a legion of fans. His power and intensity in the ring make him a formidable opponent for anyone who dares to step between the ropes. Facing him tonight is the legendary Sugar Ray Leonard, an American boxing legend from Wilmington, North Carolina. Leonard's dazzling footwork, lightning-fast hands, and incredible ring IQ have cemented his status as one of the greatest fighters of all time. With an illustrious career filled with memorable battles, Leonard's presence in the ring is nothing short of mesmerizing. Now I have promised that I will not have any bias toward Benn, even though we share the same first name and are citizens of the Crown. This bubbly, milled in Sheffield, will help to prevent any biased reporting. Wow, that certainly was a kicker of a tasteful. Now let's get ready for a kicker of a match. The fighters cautiously approach the center of the ring. To begin round 1, Benn, with his signature aggressive style, starts throwing jabs early, testing Leonard's defense. Leonard remains composed, using his footwork to circle away from Benn's advances. Benn lands a solid jab to Leonard's midsection, but Leonard counters with a swift right hook to Benn's head. Benn shrugs it off and continues to press forward. Leonard's movement is fluid, making Benn miss with his wild swings. Leonard lands a crisp combination, a jab followed by a right cross, snapping Benn's head back. The crowd erupts in cheers. Benn responds with a powerful left hook to Leonard's body, and Leonard clinches to avoid further damage. The referee separates them, and the round ends with both fighters displaying their strengths, Benn's power and Leonard's precision. There is a smirk on Leonard's face. He is amused by the wild punches thrown by Benn. He should be careful if Benn does connect. It will be a short night for Leonard. Benn comes out more aggressively for round 2, throwing a series of combinations aimed at breaking through Leonard's defense. Leonard, however, remains elusive, slipping and dodging most of Benn's punches. Benn lands a solid right hand to Leonard's jaw, and Leonard counters with a left hook to Benn's temple. Benn's relentless pressure forces Leonard to stay on the back foot, but Leonard's counters are sharp and accurate. Benn lands a thunderous uppercut that momentarily stuns Leonard, but Leonard quickly recovers and responds with a flurry of punches to Benn's head and body. The round ends with both fighters trading heavy blows, much to the delight of the crowd. I am trying to avoid being biased, but I did get a tingle when Benn caught Leonard with that uppercut. A quick gulp of bubbly for another tingle as round 3 begins. Leonard begins the round with a renewed sense of purpose, using his footwork to create angles and land precise punches. Benn, undeterred, continues to press forward, throwing powerful hooks and uppercuts. Leonard lands a beautiful combination, a left-right-left, that catches Benn off guard. Benn retaliates with a vicious right hook to Leonard's ribs, causing Leonard to grimace. Leonard's speed and agility allow him to evade Benn's follow-up punches, and he counters with a series of jabs to Benn's face. Benn's face shows signs of swelling, but he remains determined. The round ends with Leonard showcasing his technical brilliance, while Benn's power continues to be a threat. Benn is having a bit of trouble with his mouthguard. He has instructed his chief cornerman to replace it as round 4 begins. Round 4. Benn comes out swinging, landing a solid right hand to Leonard's head. Leonard counters with a quick 1-2 combination, but Benn absorbs the punches and presses forward. Benn's relentless pressure forces Leonard to stay on the move, and Leonard uses his footwork to stay out of Benn's range. Benn lands a powerful hook to Leonard's body, and Leonard clinches to avoid further damage. The referee separates them, and Leonard lands a crisp jab to Benn's face. Benn responds with a flurry of punches, but Leonard's defense is tight, and he avoids most of the blows. The round ends with Benn's aggression on full display, while Leonard continues to showcase his defensive skills. Before round 5 begins, let me take another swig of this Sheffield bubbly. Hits the spot every time. Leonard starts the round with a series of quick jabs, keeping Benn at bay. Benn continues to press forward, throwing powerful hooks and uppercuts. Leonard's footwork allows him to evade most of Benn's punches, and he counters with a right cross to Benn's jaw. Benn lands a solid left hook to Leonard's ribs, causing Leonard to wince. Leonard responds with a beautiful combination, a left-right-left, that catches Benn off guard. Benn retaliates with a vicious right hook to Leonard's head, and Leonard clinches to avoid further damage. The round ends with both fighters trading heavy blows and the crowd on their feet. I must avoid my bias, but from my seat, Benn has been inflicting the heavier blows, while Leonard's have flash but are not damaging. Let's see how it shapes out in round 6. Benn comes out more aggressively, throwing a series of combinations aimed at breaking through Leonard's defense. Leonard remains composed, using his footwork to create angles and land precise punches. Benn lands a solid right hand to Leonard's jaw, and Leonard counters with a left hook to Benn's temple. Benn's relentless pressure forces Leonard to stay on the back foot, but Leonard's counters are sharp and accurate. Benn lands a thunderous uppercut that momentarily stuns Leonard, but Leonard quickly recovers and responds with a flurry of punches to Benn's head and body. The round ends with both fighters displaying their strengths, Benn's power and Leonard's precision. I see a slight welt under Benn's left eye. It should not affect his boxing, but it shows that Leonard's fast blows are doing some damage. Leonard begins round 7 with a renewed sense of purpose, using his footwork to create angles and land precise punches. Benn, undeterred, continues to press forward, throwing powerful hooks and uppercuts. Leonard lands a beautiful combination, a left-right left, that catches Benn off guard. Benn retaliates with a vicious right hook to Leonard's ribs, causing Leonard to grimace. Leonard's speed and agility allow him to evade Benn's follow-up punches, and he counters with a series of jabs to Benn's face. Benn's face shows signs of swelling, but he remains determined. The round ends with Leonard showcasing his technical brilliance, while Benn's power continues to be a threat. In that round, Leonard certainly earned his nickname Sugar. There have been only a few boxers who can turn a boxing match into a ballet, and Leonard is one of them, a master pugilistic scientist. Round 8 begins with Benn coming out swinging, landing a solid right hand to Leonard's head. Leonard counters with a quick 1-2 combination, but Benn absorbs the punches and presses forward. Benn's relentless pressure forces Leonard to stay on the move, and Leonard uses his footwork to stay out of Benn's range. Benn lands a powerful hook to Leonard's body, and Leonard clinches to avoid further damage. The referee separates them, and Leonard lands a crisp jab to Benn's face. Benn responds with a flurry of punches, but Leonard's defense is tight, and he avoids most of the blows. The round ends with Leonard connecting with a right-hand bolo punch that crossed up Benn. He was expecting a left cross, and I do not expect anything but the best from this Sheffield bubbly as I take another sip before we begin round 9. Leonard starts the round with a series of quick jabs, keeping Benn at bay. Benn continues to press forward, throwing powerful hooks and uppercuts. Leonard's footwork allows him to evade most of Benn's punches, and he counters with a right cross to Benn's jaw. Benn lands a solid left hook to Leonard's ribs, causing Leonard to wince. Leonard responds with a beautiful combination, a left-right left, that catches Benn off guard. Benn retaliates with a vicious right hook to Leonard's head, and Leonard clinches to avoid further damage. Leonard comes out of the clinch to land a lightning-quick left-right-left combo to Benn's head. This last round should be a classic, as this one is too close to call. The final round begins, and both fighters know that the outcome could hinge on these last 3 minutes. Benn comes out swinging, throwing wild punches in a desperate attempt to land a knockout blow. Leonard, however, remains calm and composed, slipping and ducking under Benn's punches. Benn lands a few solid shots, but Leonard's defense absorbs most of the impact. Leonard then counters with a series of precise jabs and hooks, causing Benn to back off. Leonard connects with a left bolo pook that staggers Benn. He falls into the neutral corner, unsteady on his feet. Leonard winds up to throw a right bolo. Benn clinches before it connects, as the bell ends the match. The scoring of this one should be interesting. Nigel Benn gave me a wink as he walked back to his corner. His corner is smiling, and nothing has been announced yet. Very puzzling. The judges' scorecards are in. All 3 judges have awarded the bout 98-96 for the unanimous winner, Nigel Benn. Leonard's corner has exploded in protest. Leonard is pointing to the judges, saying that they gave it to the wrong guy. The hometown crowd is loving the decision. Nigel Benn looks in my direction again and winks. I do not want to besmirch my beloved country and the 3 British judges, but this one has a smell to it. I know in my heart who actually won this bout, but I will remain silent before someone hits me over the old bean with a bottle of my bubbly. I will now return you to our Bangkok studio. This is Knockout Nigel. Cheers.
Man, I can smell it all the way here in Thailand. That was ridiculous. Everyone knows Sugar Ray Leonard won that fight. There's got to be a rematch. But what do you think? As you were listening to it, were you saying, oh, Nigel Benn's really dominating this fight. Ray looks like he's in trouble every round. What do you think? Just let me know. But, sometimes we get fights like that, hometown decisions. That happens. If you follow boxing, you know it does happen. But anyway, we're going to get to a little more news here. We're going to do our weekly boxing history for the week February 16th to 22nd. We have the one and only Jessica to give us that information.
This is Jessica, your martial arts champion, with your boxing history for the week of February 16th through February 22nd. February 16th, 1970, Joe Frazier beat Jimmy Ellis to become world heavyweight champion. February 17th, 1941, Joe Louis defeated Gus D'Orazio for his 14th title defense. February 18th, 1930, Jack Kid Berg beat Mushy Callahan to become world junior welterweight champion. February 19, 2000, Eric Morales defeated Marco Antonio Barrera to unify the WBO and WBC super bantamweight belts. February 20th, 1933, Battling Shaw beat Johnny Jadick to win the world junior welterweight title. February 21st, 1933, Young Corbett III beat Jackie Fields to become the world welterweight champion. February 22nd, 2020, Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder in their rematch by 7th-round technical knockout.
Thank you, Jessica. And that's something, that was 5 years ago. My goodness. That's amazing. That fight was, that's something. But anyway, there's a big fight card coming up this Saturday, February 22nd, and Jessica's going to tell you all about it.
Here is the fight card for this Saturday's February 22nd show from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. 12 rounds for Beterbiev's undisputed light heavyweight championship. Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, 12 rounds for Dubois' IBF heavyweight title. Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield, 12 rounds for Stevenson's WBC lightweight title. Carlos Adames versus Hamza Shiraz, 12 rounds for Adam's WBC middleweight title. Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Israel Madrimov, 12 rounds for the vacant WBC junior middleweight interim title. Zhilei Zhang versus Ajit Kabayel, 12 rounds for the vacant WBC heavyweight interim title. Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith, 12 rounds for Buatsi's WBO light heavyweight interim title.
Boy, that's going to be a great card. I think it's only $25. I might put down some money and actually look at that fight, those fights. That's going to be great. I'm not going to give you all my predictions here. I'll say one thing. I think this time Beterbiev is going to knock out. I think he's going to have a knockout win. I don't think there's going to be a trilogy. I think he's going to have a knockout win. As far as the other fights, I see. Actually, I got to say this. I see Parker with an upset over Daniel Dubois. I can see that, but what do you think? Well, we'll be talking about the fight in our next show. But I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. And again, if you want to join the family, just go on Patreon, look for Ringside Fantasy Fights and News, and just donate whatever you can. And also, if you want to be a promoter, if you got a suggestion for a fight, all you got to do is, like, wherever you listen to the program, be it on YouTube, or on iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you listen, Facebook, just drop me a line and say, hey, I want these two fighters to get it on. And we'll definitely do that. But anyway, this is Greg Rashid. Go in love and go in peace. Help someone along the way. And remember, when you get up in the morning, get up, get out of that bed, look in that mirror, hug yourself and say, I love myself. If you're sight impaired, get up, hug yourself and say, I love myself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't do anything because you don't even love yourself. So love yourself, and by doing that, you can love the greater community and do what you can wherever you are in this universe to make it a better place. Help a senior, help a young person in need, help an animal in need. Just do what you can. Clean up your neighborhood. Do what you can to make it a better place because we're all in this sphere together. There are wars and rumors of wars and just some insanity coming out of Washington, D.C., but do what you can to bring some peace to your community. So this is Greg Rashid. Go in love and go in peace. See you next time on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe to this channel. Thanks and have a great day.